everyone, it's Bethany. Welcome back to the 25 Days of Cricut Chair. In this video, we are going to be using our Cricut to make coloring pages, and I thought this would be a really fun idea for stocking stuffers. I'm going to be making little 3.5 by 3.5 cards that have little coloring pages on each of them, and they're small enough to fit in a little stocking, and my girls absolutely love having little things to color, so it would be a really fun thing to stuff stockings with, but also to just have something seasonal to color. So this is a really fun idea. Even if you don't have little ones at home, you can make these for neighbors or any little kiddos in your life. It's really, really fun, really easy, and they'll be very much appreciated. Plus you can give them with a little pack of colored pencils, and it really takes zero time at all, but could mean the world to someone. So what we're going to do is we're simply going to use a Cricut pen. I'm going to just be using the fine tip black pen. You can, of course, load any color into the Cricut if you want to do a different color, but I am just going to be doing a black just to kind of replicate the look of a coloring page. And then I have a piece of cardstock. Because I'm going to be using really small little dimensions for these little coloring pages, I wanted to use a really sturdy paper, so I decided on cardstock just so that they weren't flimsy. So what we're going to do is head into Cricut Design Space. I'll be using my Cricut Explore Air 2, but you can use any cutting machine for this as long as it has a writing feature, and it's going to be really easy. I'll show you how to find some drawing files, and I think these are going to turn out really cute. All right, let's go ahead and get started. Okay, so here in Cricut Design Space, I am going to first come over to the shapes, and I am going to grab a simple square. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to make my square white, and then I'll change my canvas color by going to the bottom of the layers panel, clicking canvas, coming up to this little color button that's white, and then clicking the color. And let's be festive for the holidays. We'll just make the background red. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I am going to make my little coloring page the size of 3.5 by 3.5. So I just sized that to 3.5. I'll make this a little bit bigger so we can see it. And then I am going to be making 6 little coloring pages. So if you have it sized at 3.5 by 3.5, you can fit 6 on an 8.5 by 11 piece of cardstock or paper. So I have one already ready, so I'm just going to come over to the duplicate box and duplicate that 5 times for a total of 6. So I'll just arrange these around, and then the next thing I'm going to do is I am going to come to the images, click on that, and I am going to search for Christmas. Once I search for Christmas, I am going to come over to art type, and I'm going to select that, and I am going to say draw only. This is going to filter and allow me to only be browsing images that work well with the pen feature and that are drawn files. So I'm going to go ahead and select six images that I'd like. You can of course select as many as you would like, or as many little coloring pages as you intend on making. So I'm going to do this snow globe and wreath, and then I'm going to do this ornament as well. I will do the snowflake, and then I'll browse and see what else I can find in here. This little ballerina is cute as well. This is, I think, from like a Nutcracker image set, so that's really fun. And let's see what else. I also love the idea of the little candy canes. So there's so many options. You can pick whichever images you really like. So I have 6 loaded down here in my little queue. So now I can just select this green button that says Insert Images, and it will place it on my canvas screen. So they come all together in a little cluster. So I'm just going to put those to the side. And let me change my canvas color once again just so you can really see those. They're kind of getting lost in... There we go. They're kind of getting lost with that nice red that we had. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is the white boxes are going to be my little coloring pages. So all I need to do is just drag over my little images to fit on the little coloring pages. So once I have my image on the little card, what I can do is I can select both the image and the card, come up to a line and say center, just center. Okay, so now it's centered on there, and now what I can do is I can select both of them and I can attach them. You want to make sure you attach them so that your Cricut knows that you want to have your drawn file placed right on this little
card here. So what it's going to do is once you attach it, you see over in that little file that the snowflake is going to be drawn, and then the little square is going to be cut. So then you will have the pen and the blade both doing its own separate jobs. So I'm just going to do another example for you, and then I can do the rest on my own. But I'll go ahead and select both, align, center, and then I'll come down and say attach. And then again, I'll just do one more. So easy. Just center that the best that I can. But again, aligning and having it center for me, and then attach. Okay, so I'm doing my last one. So this is a really cute activity, even if you're not going to do this as a stocking stuffer. This is a really fun activity to do with kiddos before Christmas, because it's nice to fill their time with little Christmas activities that kind of help with the anticipation of Christmas coming, because I don't know about your little ones, but mine ask every day if it's Christmas once the Christmas tree has gone up. So it just gives them a little fun to do in the meantime. I have my Explore Air 2 already selected. Again, you can do this with the Cricut Joy as well as the Cricut Maker, especially because the size is so small that it would be really easy to do on the Cricut Joy. And then what I'm going to do is select Make It. So it goes ahead and places it on my mat. You can see right here that this is the 8 mark and the 11, so we have plenty of space to do an 8.5 by 11 piece of paper. And again, I'm doing cardstock. Now I'll go ahead and say continue. So I'll go ahead and browse all materials, and then I'm using the selection heavy cardstock and say done. Then it's going to tell me that I will place the pen in clamp A, and then the fine point blade is already in clamp B, and then I can go ahead and load my mat and get everything drawn out and then cut.
Okay, so I placed my cardstock right on my green light grip mat, and then I like to take my brayer tool and just run it over there to make sure that it's nice and flat on the mat. And then let me bring this in camera a little bit more. What we're going to do is open up clamp A, and we will simply press the little pen right into the clamp until you hear the click. Go ahead and close the clamp. Again, the fine point blade is already in the B clamp, so we are all set to go. We have our pen and our blade, and then the Cricut will use which one it needs to at the right time. So I'll go ahead and press the flashing arrows to load my machine, and then I'll go ahead and click the flashing Cricut button, and it will get started. So it's doing all of the drawing first, and then once it's done drawing, it will just automatically switch over to clamp B, and it will cut out the little squares. Okay, so now that it's done drawing, it has gone ahead and switched over to clamp B where the blade is, and now it's just cutting out our little squares. So quick, so easy, and they turn out really sweet. Okay, so it is all done. I'm going to simply unload my mat, and then before I forget, I'm going to take my pen out of clamp A so it doesn't dry out, and then I can go ahead and put my machine away. Okay, and then to remove the little coloring pages from my mat, I'm simply going to turn my mat over and then just slightly grab my little pieces off. And you can also use, another method is you can use this little spatula, and you can just kind of use more of your wrist when bringing them up off the mat and just kind of do small little back and forth motion, and then it takes the little coloring pieces off of the mat. So whichever way you want to do it, both methods are great. You just want to avoid just tearing them off because they'll curl up and then they won't be very cute anymore. Okay, so here is the final look. I think this size is so cute for the younger kids. Of course, you could always size them up. If you wanted to make this bigger, you would just size your design up in Design Space to the desired dimensions that you like. But you can always make full-size coloring pages as well. You just have to change the dimensions. But I love this for smaller kids because it gives them a little smaller area to work with. Once again, this would make a really, really pretty gift with just a simple pack of colored pencils, and I think it would just be a really fun little way to bring some excitement for the upcoming holidays, especially when kiddos are waiting patiently for the holidays to arrive. Plus, I think it's just a really fun little stocking stuffer idea. So let me know what you think of this in the comments. My girls are gonna love these. Again, make sure you just filter for draw, files, and design space, and then the possibilities for creating coloring pages are endless. All right, everyone, please be sure to like and share this video so people can come over and continue to craft with us for 25 days in a row. I hope you've been enjoying this series, and I can't wait to see you in the next video.